Today's episode of Armchair Ninja Podcast is brought to you by NinjaWarriorBlueprints.com. Get detailed and easy-to-read instructions on how to build your own affordable backyard gym, including the salmon ladder, cliffhanger, and rumbling dice at NinjaWarriorBlueprints.com. Coming to you from sunny California and the Great White North. Get ready. We are breaking down the obstacles on the Armchair Ninja Podcast. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Armchair Ninja Podcast. It is Thursday, July 28th, 2016. My name is Rich, and joining me this week is Bijan. How you making out?
Doing good, man. How are you?
Doing awesome. A little bit sore, though. This couch to salmon ladder thing is hurting me.
I'm sure, man. just keep sticking with it. After 2 weeks of training, muscles will straighten out, kind of.
Yeah. So for those that aren't aware, so Jesse Graff put out a video a short time ago about this couch to salmon ladder, and since I've always wanted to do the salmon ladder, and I definitely like the couch, I figured I'd give it a shot. So yeah, it's progressing. Eventually I will do a pull-up, and that's not even a joke. I will get to that point, and I'll post a video, and we'll share in that minor victory, and hopefully we can get me up a salmon ladder at some point.
Hey, trying's half the battle, man. Already proud of you.
Thanks, trying. So actually, the reason I bring it up is I am looking for tips. So if you have any tips or tricks for a chubby 40-year-old with arthritis, other than the obvious, like lay off the cheeseburgers, send them my way. Especially if you have ideas on warming up and avoiding injury. I would definitely appreciate that.
Sounds good, man.
So the Indianapolis finals, we're getting to cover it. We get to see the Wolf Pack and how they did. I was really anxious for this episode for that. What did you think of the episode overall?
Oh, what to say about this episode? I'll say this. It would be unfair to call this episode bad or anything like that. It's definitely not a bad episode. I wouldn't even call it like a disappointing episode or anything. With such two strong episodes coming beforehand, this episode just did not live up to that expectation. So I will say it was not as strong as the last two finals courses, but I don't know. I guess I'd call it like kind of middle ground. It wasn't bad. It wasn't good. It was just middle ground. How'd you feel, man?
I'm not sure. Actually, I'm really kind of in a weird spot with this episode because I almost feel the same way you do, but at the same time, I know I yelled more during this episode than anyone this season. I was constantly letting out like yelps of pain, like watching people crash into things and getting excited when things happen, like Megan's run, where I was just like yelling at the screen. So I got passionate about it, but yeah, in some ways, I think I just didn't like the course as much as the other ones. I mean,
that was the big thing for me. Yeah, because
go ahead.
Sorry, just the big thing that stood out for the previous two episodes was there was a clear ninja killer, especially with the LA's course. It kind of felt like there were two ninja killers. There was both the wedge and that, I forget the name of it, but the peg thing, that spinning peg thing right afterwards. I mean, those were brutal. And this episode, we had, a difficult, I guess, kind of difficult, obstacle with the, what's its name? I'm losing my mind.
Hourglass.
The hourglass drop, and I'm going to speak to that in just a minute, actually. But the big thing for me was I just didn't see the circuit board as that big of a thing. I've actually done an obstacle very similar to that before, and that obstacle looks really, really fun. And it is like you just look at that and you're like, oh man, I really want to try that. That looks so incredibly cool, but I just can't compare it to the same as like the wedge and all the other crazy ninja killers. It's just not up there in terms of the difficulty. I feel like the circuit breaker would fit more aligned with just like a regular obstacle midway in the course. I feel like the way it was positioned as, the final penultimate obstacle where it's supposed to be so daunting, and they kept alluding to it being so incredibly difficult, it just wasn't there for me.
That's strange. Yeah, I can see that. Is it just, I feel like it might be the level of people that got to it, because I mean, that thing looked like it should be really difficult. You have to hang there for so long Not that it's a puzzle. They kept trying to make it out to be some great puzzle. I mean, there's a little bit of that to it, but really, I mean, you're just going to keep progressing forward and moving the things along, it seemed. Mm-hmm. Even with the 2 different size balls on the end of it, it seemed like it wouldn't be overly mentally taxing, I guess.
Yeah, it's just, it's difficult. It's just not at the same level. I would consider Rolling Thunder much more difficult than the Circuit Breaker. And the Rolling Thunder wasn't even a Ninja Killer like obstacle at the end of the course.
Yeah, it was in the first part of the course.
Yeah.
But the Hourglass drop tripped up a few people, and we know it was a Ninja Killer last year. Let's talk about the changes to it. So did you like them, hate them?
To the Hourglass drop?
Yeah.
Well, this is what I want to talk about because I didn't see any changes, and I was so... Well, what was different about it? I'm curious.
Oh, really? So you totally forget what it looked like last year then?
I really don't remember much. I just remember the trampoline. What were the differences?
Well, the trampoline was in the middle last year, right? So they went along a board, and they had to drop down and bounce up to the next board instead of it being at the beginning of the whole thing. Mm-hmm. The trampoline looks like it was I don't know if it was deliberately given more bounce and the target on it or what, but it was definitely... There was not the issues with the trampoline that we saw last year. So that was simplified or I don't know how it was adjusted, but it definitely seemed like they got a lot more bounce than they did.
Yeah, I definitely noticed that. I was ready to come on here, and I still am. I'm going to say I'm ready to eat crow. I am willing to give the producers the benefit of the doubt and applaud them because I've been talking a lot of smack for almost the past year, right? Saying that the Hourglass drop was so cheap, saying it was my most hated obstacle, and it still is. Like, I'm not going to change that. I still hate that obstacle, but it no longer feels cheap. It's good to see, but at the same time, it kind of lost its luster of being a Ninja Killer, in my opinion. It was still very difficult, so it's hard for me to say that, because, like, you saw so many people failing at it, but for me, it wasn't as daunting, or at least the trampoline part. But then, like, I can't complain about that too much, right? Because that's kind of what was cheap about it, so I don't even know what I'm saying at this point.
Well, here's the thing. So I think the number of finishers was dead on. We had the wedge took out almost everybody, right? We had one finisher. I don't like when there's one finisher. I kind of like when there's more than that.
Oh, me too.
But yeah, I didn't get any of those obstacles where, you could get that excited about it. Like the circuit board, I thought kind of looked like it would be. I liked the design at first, but then watching go through it, it's very static. It's just not very dynamic or exciting to watch.
Yeah, it's not. Let's get on with it.
Yeah, let's jump into it here. So we've got first one out of the gate was Drew Knopp, and the thing I remember about him is from the qualifiers is the "you can't stop Knopp."
I hate that catchphrase, man.
I know you hate it. That's why I had to bring it up again.
It's so bad.
I mean, he ended up going out in the rolling log, so I guess you won't have to hear it anymore.
Yeah. I mean, I don't wish him bad or anything, but please change that. Change that catchphrase.
Yeah, definitely don't wish any ill will on him. But he did go out early, as a few people did. The rolling log. I don't know what did they do to the rolling log that made it so much more difficult.
I'm telling you, man, the rolling log's weird. I want to try that so bad because it doesn't look impossible, but yet, like, the best of the best always fails on that obstacle. Man.
It did. What's funny is it actually did look impossible for the next guy, this Tyler Yamauchi, the really short guy, the 5'1" guy.
That guy is small. I really wish they featured him earlier in the season for the qualifiers, because I really like this guy, and I forget what they said, but I think he broke a record, like the shortest man to get up the warped wall. But wasn't there somebody that was 5 foot that got up it?
He's the first one to do it on the new height, so the new 6.
Oh, that makes sense.
14.5 feet. Yeah, you're thinking of Dusty McKinney did it.
Yeah. So I'm curious why they didn't feature that, because that's a big deal. And this guy is primed to be a star. This guy is awesome. Not only is he so appealing just with his height and everything, right, and his size, you can tell like he's legit. And I really like the fact that he comes from a gymnastics background, because one sport that's kind of underplayed and everything, because we get a lot of free runners and rock climbers, but gymnasts are really good and primed for this particular sport. I'm really glad this guy comes from a gymnastics background. I am really looking forward to this guy going far. I love this guy so incredibly much. He's so fun.
I did too. I'm glad you had that same reaction because I actually called the wife in to see him and she got into it, like was so excited to watch him because he was so energetic. When he went off of the flywheels, I thought he was going to soar right over the next obstacle. Man, that guy went so high.
He flew. And you know he can do that kind of stuff because he's from gymnastics background where he knows exactly how to like fly off those types of things.
Yeah. And then he almost fell into the disc runner. Like that happened more than once in the episode.
Yeah, too many people like getting too excited and trying to jump onto that thing. I don't know. That's not a good idea. But do you remember like seeing him in front of the warped wall? That warped wall might as well have been like the ice wall from Game of Thrones. That thing looked huge in front of this guy.
Yeah, and he went right up it like it was nothing.
Yeah, it was so awesome. Like everything about this guy's run, I thoroughly look forward to this guy's runs, just like I do Casey's, because his size just makes everything look so much more daunting, and he does it so flawlessly.
Yeah, unfortunately, he didn't make it past the hourglass drop. We get to see it, the differences, and we get to see how difficult it was with him. But I really enjoyed him. I hope we do see more of him.
Oh yeah, I really, really hope we get more of him. You know, the hourglass drop, it's understandable. He is smaller, so he's not going to have the wingspan to do it. But, you know, that didn't really seem like it hindered him too much. It might just be a situation where he wasn't, you know, prepared for the levelation switch up that happened with the hourglass drop. It's all about that technique.
Yep. The next guy we had on the course was Eric Middleton, the entomologist, the Bug Ninja. I didn't see them actually call him the Bug Ninja, but I think that's got to be what he is.
Oh, yeah. Like, such a perfect name, right?
Yeah. Very memorable. You know, he's going on about dung beetles and stuff. It was tying the bugs, different bugs to ninja skills. I love how they'll shoehorn those things in, like, for their videos and for their thing, right? Like, the dung beetle is the strongest beetle. Like, okay, we get it. It's funny, but it makes it memorable.
Yeah,
whatever.
That was the thing. Like, this is one of the instances where it's actually funny and fun to watch. I really enjoyed his video. Like, sometimes it can be really hammed up and just forced, but I really liked all of this. I don't know if I'm a bug nerd as well or something, but I found it interesting. Oh, the dung beetle can carry like 1,000 times its weight. That's pretty cool.
So he did really well, but he did end up going out in the hourglass as well. He did a nasty backflip off that thing.
Oh yeah, man, that was pretty rough. But I don't know. I really see this guy doing quite well. I think next year or so, because he's still really young. He's like a kid. He's still got like acne on his face and everything. So give him like a year or two. I think he's going to do quite well.
Yeah, I think he's somebody we got to keep an eye on for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Next is one of our listeners, actually, Dr. John Murray Adams, the Vision Ninja. He was one of our videos of the week earlier in the season, or sorry, late last year.
So yeah, this guy like landed really hard when he fell from the little peg swing thing.
Yeah, I was a little big ow. He fell on the side of the course on the swinging spikes, like just nasty spill.
Yeah. It was interesting. He was holding on to the penultimate swinging spike for a while. I'm curious what happened there where he didn't try for the final one. Maybe he just blew himself out and he was trying to hold on, but you know, it's hard because from like, you know, a viewer's perspective, you're just screaming like, why don't you just go for it, you know? But you know, you're not there. Who knows?
Yeah, exactly. I got two hands on it, and I know I can't hold it with one. I'm not going to let go either. I'm like,
right.
Figure out some way to get off of here. But actually, one of the funny things is that I got to bring up, Dr. John, I don't know what to call him, the Vision Ninja here. He is from New Brunswick, Canada, where I'm from. Like, it was totally caught me off guard because
snap.
I think everybody on the show is American, but he was born and raised here, like in potato country.
So he's repping your hood, so to speak, huh?
Yeah, he's right from here. He grew up here. He went to school here and then moved down to the States later. So I was really excited to see that. So it's almost like having somebody from my hometown, as close as I'm going to get.
Yeah, man. That means you got to be his number one fan now. Like you got to have him represent.
I am totally on board. I'm going to be showing up with signs next year. Big Maple Leafs.
Oh, geez. That's going to be a thing now, isn't it?
Next on the course, we had PJ Granger. We're glad to see him back again. He did really awesome last year.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to do really well because he's pretty solid, and I thought he would go far, but he ended up sliding off the side of the course in crazy exit number 3 where I thought someone was going to end up breaking a neck.
Yeah, it was interesting because, you heard the little squeak from his shoes. He must have slipped really hard. Kind of just one minute he's flying in the air, about to land. Next minute he's, off the course. And you're like, what just happened?
So after him, we had Andrew Yari, the Canine Ninja. I love that he takes that. He's got a platform and he's using it to help, with dog adoptions. That's really nice.
Yeah, and I love the fact that we always get to see more cute dogs every time he runs, and with his video packages. I'm not going to complain about that, man. Those pugs, those pit bulls, and all the dogs that he has, they're pretty awesome.
Yeah, I am not a dog person. I don't know if I think I brought this up the last time he was on, but
love those dogs.
I think it's great that he's doing that anyway. So
come on, you didn't like the dog that was on the course? That looks like such an old wise dog. I thought he was gonna turn into a wizard, man.
Well, if you find a dog that turns into a wizard, I will appreciate that dog a lot more than the ones that just sit around and gnaw at themselves all day.
Dude, that dog was like the Yoda to that guy, Luke. The dog was just watching, as old wise men being like, yes, my son, continue.
Okay.
I loved that dog, watching
obviously.
The course. I love that dog so much.
Well, this guy, he did really well. He ended up missing the grab on the hourglass drop, though. Man, the falls are scary on that thing. He did another one that took a weird tumble off of it.
Yeah, it's cool. That dog was awesome, man.
Focus. The ninja. Yeah, they really do kind of steal the show for this guy, though. He makes a point of it. Even his name, he goes by Roo. So everybody's going Roo, Roo, Roo.
Yeah.
So next was, oh my God, this guy was great. Ethan Swanson. Consultant by day, amateur stuntman at night.
Okay, we gotta talk about that video. This guy is crazy, man.
Yeah, what is that?
Did you see that? I was terrified, but at the same time intrigued, all craziness. I was like, that is cool, but this dude is gonna kill himself one of these days trying to do that kind of stuff. That video, man, that GoPro video, people that didn't see it, he kind of jumps off this building, falling towards another building, far down below on a slant, slides down the roof of another building, and then lands in this spiral staircase. It is amazing. It was so cool, but terrifying.
Ugh. I jumped. That was one of those moments. Like I said, I got so excited in this episode. That was one of those loud gasps that oh my God, what is going on? Where did that guy just go? So he ended up beating the hourglass drop, which was great, and he beat the circuit board. I didn't think he was going to beat the circuit board. I was like, oh well, we'll get to see him start the runs on the circuit board, but he made it through.
I think we're going to see a lot more of this guy. He's clearly impressive. He knows his body very well.
So he ended up going on the invisible ladder in one of those amazing ones where they're just struggling their way up. I love that obstacle. It's great.
Yeah, I absolutely adore the invisible ladder.
Yeah, they said that they think he was probably the closest to the top that's ever failed.
He was right there. You could see his hands above the little point. If he were to just kip up his body and, kind of have his legs hanging from the top, he would have been able to do it. But I guess he just had nothing left. And as soon as he, lost grip of one of those pegs of the rings, it was over.
So we're going to take a brief break right now for a word from our sponsor. Want to know one of the coolest things about NinjaWarriorBlueprints.com? Most of the people buying the blueprints and building backyard gyms are not aspiring ninja warriors. At least not in the next decade. If your kid loves Ninja Warrior and wants to tackle the course themselves someday, why not give them the coolest gift ever? They might even behave for a week or two. And even if they don't, think how jealous your neighbors will be and how you'll be the benchmark for cool parents all around. Billy's dad might have a fancy job in a boat, but did he build a ninja gym in the backyard? Yeah, didn't think so. Sally's mom took her kids to Disney World on March break, but did she build a frickin' salmon ladder in the backyard? Check out NinjaWarriorBlueprints.com and start your journey to becoming the coolest parent ever. Sign up for the newsletter and get free salmon ladder blueprints. Use our discount code of armchair at checkout and save 10% off your purchase. One last time, that's NinjaWarriorBlueprints.com. And we're back. Next to take the course was actually Ian Dory. I love this. So he built a little mini Mount Midoriyama with these telephone poles that were getting taken down. That's awesome.
Yeah, man. It was cool. Interesting that he decided to make the rope climb out of all of them. I feel like you can do a rope climb with, just like a tree branch. Like, why aren't you building another obstacle? But, he knows better than me. I'm more curious, what do you think about his hair? Like, that hair made him look like a good 5 years younger. I am like, dude, you look like a kid.
Man, I thought it was just me. I was almost took a note, and I'm like, nah, I'm not going to say anything about his hair. Maybe I just didn't notice before, but yeah, I don't know. That haircut, man. Ian,
he looks like some of the kids deal. Like, please, like I can't knock you, Ian, but like he straight up looks like one of the kids that I work with at work. I'm a youth service. I work with kids at the library, and man, I see a lot of kids with that haircut. I'm like, huh. I saw that earlier today.
He almost
interesting choice. That's all I could say.
Yeah, a little bit. But getting to his run, he almost fell in the disc runner as the second guy, at least, to almost fall into the middle of it. Like, he came really close. He got
close, yeah. He dipped all the way in there, right? Good save on him, but man.
Oh, yeah. But once he got past that, it was like, yeah, he's going to destroy it, and he did, just right through the circuit board. The wolf pup's becoming the alpha dog, as they said. Like, Ian's the guy to watch. Like, Ian's came so close last year. Any other year, he would have been celebrated as the guy that's gone the furthest, and he was in third place, basically, so he kind of got forgotten a little bit. But he did amazing last year, and he's definitely somebody we get to see how he did in Vegas this year.
Yep, Ian Dory, still my number 4 pick.
Oh, yeah, you were smart enough to put him on your team. I don't know what I was thinking.
Yeah, man. Everybody's sleeping on Ian Dory. He gets far every year. I'm telling you, this is his year. Even with that haircut.
Maybe the haircut's the secret. Maybe that's it.
Yeah, Watchy wins it, and he's like, it's all because of the hair.
And Brian goes, I knew it.
Poor Brian. If that's a secret, man, Brian's screwed, just like me. Us bald people, you need to stick together, Brian.
And so the next we had a fast forward, which I didn't see coming because they were hyping them up a bit, and they did the 24 before. They actually fast forwarded Brandon Mears. He went out on the salmon ladder.
Yeah, how weird is that? 24 before, and they fast forward them. Maybe it's punishment for that 24 before. Oh boy, do I have a lot to say about that one.
Yeah, we'll definitely get to that for sure.
I will save my wrath for later.
Okay.
I'm just gonna say I did not approve.
I did like, actually, them showing him obsessing over the ring, although it was kind of, again, played up a little bit.
Funny.
But I could see that. I could see you just looking at the ring like, if I just held on, like, what happened? Why did I drop?
Mm-hmm. It was a little forced, a little hammed up, but it was still funny. So I can't knock him for that. And it did, like, I'm glad that they shot back to last year and replayed that image or that particular clip, because just watching back, that's rough, man. Like, that's got to really take a toll on you mentally as a competitor. Training all that, and then just that kind of lapse of judgment or a little mistake, that's rough.
Yeah, one of those ones where, you could probably wrap your head around, I need to train more for this, or I just have to get a little bit better at that. But at the, like, I fell, and I don't even know why I fell. Like, what do I change? I just don't even know what went wrong.
Yeah.
But he made it to the circuit board, but as soon as he did, like, oh boy, this guy is going to have a rough time with that circuit board, just the size of him. He's 6'1", he's a big guy.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they've got a wingspan, so they do have somewhat of an advantage, but the weight has got to play on you really hard also.
But I actually like, as much as like they played up the bromance so much, I think we had a genuine moment there in the interview afterwards when he's like, he couldn't even get excited about Vegas because Brandon didn't make it through. And Brandon looked at him and said, like, look, I'll be your trainer. Like, don't worry about that, man. We're going together. Like, I thought that was really nice.
I guess. I don't know.
You can't even give them that. Come on.
No, I wasn't paying attention to that point. Like, oh man, they're really caring for each other. I don't know. No, I just didn't notice it. Glad you did.
Next was the run we were waiting for. Megan Martin, or at least the one I was waiting for, because I wanted to see how she did, especially comparing her to Jessie, right? Because they're so equal in skill levels. You just kind of want to see how did Megan do this year versus Jessie, because Jessie set this new benchmark for women, being second in her city finals.
It feels like their stories are always back to back, like they're always competing against each other, right?
Yeah, kind of indirectly, like they're. It always seems to be the case. So that was one of the great things about watching the All-Stars competition, was seeing them both do stage 3, and they're still like just equally good.
Man, Team Ninja Warrior, they better compete against each other. That's all I gotta say. That's all I want.
So, oh my God, Megan's run. This is when I was losing my mind. When she got to that wall and she failed the first 2 attempts, I was losing my mind.
That was scary, dude. I was like, oh boy, she finally made it to the warped wall part, right? And she's gonna fail. No.
Oh my God, even Matt and Akbar were like, don't do that to me. Like, they were losing it too. Like, geez, come on, you're killing us here.
I was more interested in what was going on with the first and second attempts up the warped wall, because it kind of looked like she threw herself into the warped wall. I don't know if she was fatigued or something, but the technique wasn't there. It could have been many things. Maybe she was hurting somewhere, or it could be she was just winded. But I'm really glad she gutted it out and got up that thing. And I love a little quote. Typically, we talk about the quotes of Akbar. I love Matt Eisman. As soon as she got up there and was celebrating, he's like, get to work! I was like, damn. He wants to see her go far. He's like, no, now's not the time to celebrate. You still have more to do.
Yeah, and she did awesome. She kept going. She got through the salmon ladder. She got through the hourglass drop, which was fantastic because so many people had gone out there. But she ended up falling on the circuit board.
Yeah, that was rough to see, especially because she comes from a rock climbing background. I thought she was going to just breeze through the circuit board, but you can see she was pretty tired at that point. And, you know, it is a tiring course.
Yeah, I think, I don't know if she had enough in her, if she had, because one of them slipped out and then she was hanging by one hand and just didn't have it left in her. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that brings me back now I think about it. It did seem like it could have been not even fatigue, but it could have just been like she kind of slipped out, because I remember she slipped and then she tried to grab with one hand and there was just no way. It's kind of like the invisible ladder, right? Like you lose one and all your weight shifts to one side and man, you're going to have a tough time. It seemed like that was kind of what happened, right?
Yeah, that might have been it. But she did awesome. She ended up qualifying. Only the third woman. It's funny because she was the third woman up the warp wall, and she's the third woman to earn her spot to Vegas.
Yeah, just keeping up with Jessie Graff. We're gonna see who gets further in the Vegas finals, and I am looking forward to that.
So Brian Arnold was up next, and he started plowing. I mean, there was no real question. So all of the Wolfpack did the hourglass drop, which was kind of neat. Him going through the circuit board was funny. He's like maintaining like one arm L's. Like he just made it look ridiculously simple.
Yeah, but are you surprised, man? I mean, he beast modes so many upper body strength obstacles. This guy is so incredible when it comes to that kind of stuff. So I was pleasantly surprised. I was more shocked that he seemed like he was getting super winded on the invisible ladder, and I thought he was going to breeze through that one too.
Yeah, I actually thought he would be smoother with that, but he did it. I don't think there would be much question if they had another 20 feet on. I think he would have kept going, but he did seem to struggle a little more than I would have thought, but mainly just from trying to get the fastest time, probably, which he did get.
Yeah.
At that point, anyway. After him was one of the more exciting guys to watch with the Palm Wonderful run of the night, Jake Murray and his 95 Ford Aspire.
Okay, let's talk about this.
Okay.
Why is this on the episode? What's going on here? Like, I'm sure it's funny, and you can crack jokes. I will at least be happy that they kept it short.
It's a little weird, too, because Jake doesn't need that. He's already funny and engaging. He doesn't need the extra little segment to help that, right? Like, watching him on the course and making faces and doing just funny movements and, doing weird pulls up the warp wall backwards, whatever the heck that was.
Yeah, see, that I find much more engrossing. And honestly, like, it's not even an original joke.
Yeah, that was an Uncle Buck joke, right? Like, that's been around a while.
Yeah. To his credit, the run was quite amazing. Man, he's so flawless and entertaining at it.
Yeah, he's got that, that same kind of vibe that Drew does, where he makes it look effortless in some ways, and he plays around the course, and you just want to watch him do it over and over again. Like, you just absolutely love to watch him go.
Yeah, he looks like he's having fun, and I think that it's really infectious in many ways. It's saying a lot for him to beat Brian Arnold's time when Brian Arnold's going pretty fast himself. So, big ups on this guy.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely looking forward to seeing him on Team Ninja Warrior again, which has been renewed. It will be filming soon, and we have a lot of returning people.
I am looking forward to that.
Anyway, back to the runs. We had Adam Arnold up next, who, man, oh man, like, this guy needs some respect. Like, he is amazing. He did so good last year, and then again now. He had a great time. He was so fast. And, the walk-on warrior didn't need to walk on this year, but he still killed it.
Mm-hmm. I'm glad that they gave him some time to shine and reminded everybody, most importantly, of his story, because his story was so engrossing last year. And, just reminding you of just what he went through last year, it really makes you root for this guy so incredibly much.
Yep. And the final run of the night was Lauren Ball. How surprised were you with that?
First of all, I gotta give shout-outs very much to Adam Arnold for the invisible ladder just beast-moding that thing. But Lauren Ball is his name, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. What was up with that? Him just bringing out the chair, sitting down, and then kicking it? I was like, is that supposed to be cool? Because I didn't know what that's supposed to be. That was not whatever he thought it was going to be. It was really surprising that he failed so early on, but man, that rolling log, that thing's deceptive. They're kind of hinting to him failing early in the announcing.
Did you think? I don't know. I kind of got maybe an inkling of that because, I don't know, the Palm Wonderful Run of the Night was already awarded out, and
but the Palm Wonderful could have gone to like 3 people this episode. I kind of feel like Megan kind of could have gone in, and a few others.
Yeah, that's true. With Lauren, he's like, do you remember like Talladega Nights? You're either first or last. Like that's. I think that's Lauren Ball's attitude. If you're not first, you're last.
Yeah, kinda. I will say this though: what a snoozer of an ending, though, right? Like,
yeah, I could kind of kill the vibe at the end.
That wasn't even like it didn't even give you a chance to get like engrossed in that run. And it was like, oh, that's how we're ending. Okay, I guess. Yeah. I mean, I can't blame anybody, but I was just like, man, that puts a damper on the whole end of the thing. I don't know.
So moving on to the crashing the course, we had a look at the circuit board with our good friends Sage Dalem and Connor Daly, the Indy drivers who are back for redemption. What'd you think of it, Bijan? Go right ahead. Let's hear. Let's get it all out there.
What, crashing the course? I mean, it was whatever, right? I'll say both the videos this week, man. That's like 7 or 8 minutes of my life I'm never getting back. And I don't know who I'm more upset about. You for making me watch these dank things, or production. I'm like, oh, who did these? Like, oh, the circuit board. It was whatever, right? They explained it. I appreciate that. But that was like a minute in, and then the rest of the 4 minutes was just fluff. You
know what's funny is he hands him a thing of milk at the end, and he dumps it on his head. Did you have any idea what that was about?
I didn't really care. I know it's about this NASCAR and, like them spraying the bottles. I think like there was a famous saying of somebody like pouring milk one time, but I don't know. I don't follow NASCAR enough.
Well, here's the thing. So it's Indy, by the way, Indy, NASCAR, whatever.
Oh,
right?
Boy, those Indy people, they're going to come after us, right?
They're cringing. Man. Yeah, it's so for Indy. At the end of the Indy 500, they give them a glass of milk. It's a tradition going way, way back. And the reason I know this is I had to look it up because I was like, why did they? I don't understand the milk thing. So I looked it up. So I'm going to include a link to this. Why does the Indy 500 winner always drink milk video that I watched? Because it's way more entertaining than both crashing the course and 24 before.
Yes. I was about to say, you might as well just have everybody listening to this watch that video rather than these two. We had to suffer through these for you guys.
Yeah, I can't recommend these videos at all this week because they're both pretty darn boring. The 24 before with the bro counter going.
Okay, we got to talk about the 24 before, because Crush the Chorus was just whatever.
Yeah.
24 before was awful. This was rough. And for people listening that didn't watch it, please don't watch it, because, man, do not sit through that. But it wasn't just the bro counter. I know I'm talking about that. But there was a lot of comedy that they're trying on this that was way too forced. It was just really hard to watch. And it's harder because we've seen them before. They're very charismatic. They can be fine by themselves. I don't know why they felt like they had to do just all this forced comedy, but none of it worked, man. It was really hard to watch. It's kind of like those comedians that you watch on stage where they're trying so hard, but they're just bombing so incredibly bad where you're just cringing. That's what this was.
That's really important to point out. There's nothing wrong with these guys. We really like them. We saw them on Team Ninja Warrior. They're very entertaining. They're very good guys. They're really great athletes. No disrespect intended towards them at all. This video, though, is not good.
Exactly.
I'm gonna blame production for putting this together. Like just picking out some bad clips or something, because these guys are better than that.
I blame everybody involved for wasting 4 minutes of my life that I'll never get back.
Okay, so we were harsh enough.
I blame you too, Rich.
I know, I make you watch these stupid things, but sometimes they're good. Sometimes they're good.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is it for this week. Thank you all for joining us once again. If you weren't aware, we're actually on YouTube as well. So if you know someone who doesn't understand podcasts, doesn't know what it's all about, YouTube's a good way to get them introduced to the show.
Well, I guess it's not necessarily a video. I mean, I'm not doing any video Skype calls with you. But, it's kind of like more of like our backup feed. If you don't feel like downloading it, and I know a lot of people just enjoy streaming, like audio and everything, this is a really good resource for you guys.
So I'll put a link to the YouTube channel in the description, and it's also available on ninjapodcast.com. It's linked right at the top. And from that website, you can also reach out to us via comment. It has a contact page and lots of ways to reach out to us. You can reach us on Instagram and Twitter at Ninja Podcast. And Bijan, how can they reach you?
Hit me up on Twitter and Instagram at Bijan151. That's BIJAN 151.
All right, thank you all for listening, and I hope you have a great week.
Peace, y'all.